Alright, welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. I'm going to be doing a spread here that's been building up for a couple of days now. I'm also going to be doing an example of one of the readings that I'm offering that I haven't made a video for yet. It's going to be an Ancestral reading. It's called the End of Life Query, and like I said, I've been planning on doing it for a couple days. Had somebody in a Facebook group that I joined a while back asking someone for a spread to use because their client had somebody that had died that they wanted to get a reading on. And I was like, I have that. And so now I'm going to do an example of it instead of just the kind of outline that's on the infomercial video. Now, this video is a little bit unusual because instead of reading for the collective and getting a general reading, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be getting information about Thoth. Now, Thoth was the Egyptian god of writing, if I remember correctly. He has an ibis head. He's also known as Hermes Trismegistus, and some sources equate him with Azazel, with Capricorn, and with Zoroaster. So I've had a couple of synchronicities of this just sort of poking at my head, just sort of hopping around in the window with his little ibis head going, pick me, pick me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the End of Life Query to see what Thoth wants to say to the collective right now. So it's not necessarily a reading for you, it's a reading to you, if that makes any sense. And again, if it doesn't resonate, then it's not for you then. You know, if you're not feeling it, just move on. And that's why I say in the comments of the videos too, that if it doesn't resonate, don't take it personally. It's written a little cheekily, but it's not meant to be an insult. It's just a playful way of saying the same thing. If you're not feeling it, then it's not for you. So, I don't know if there's glue on here or what. I was making some envelopes. Okay. I think I've got it reasonably in focus. Either you'll be able to see stuff or everything will be slightly fuzzy. I think the background isn't totally out of order. So let me set this up. The decks that I've picked out are ones that I was guided to use. Normally I wouldn't use this deck for regular readings. This is my Twin Flame deck. It's a Pinnacle or Pinnacle, however you pronounce that word. It's one of those decks. But here we are, and we're going to use it. And then I have the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I have the Cairo Marchetti Legacy deck, the Aquarian Tarot, and the Valentine Angel deck. Alright, so let me get this set up here. What do you want to tell us today, Thoth? What have you been poking at me for a couple of days here? I actually did a reading for Thoth yesterday while I was listening to some Hermetic Teachings video until I got bored with it. Ooh. we're not going to do the bottom of the decks today. So we'll do the Oracle card after. Alright, Thoth, what do you want the collective to know today? Oh yeah, so the reading yesterday, I was considering that I wanted to see what Thoth had to say while not recording. And then I was thinking of just redoing the recording on video, but I ended up leaving the cards out for a couple hours and then deciding not to repeat it. What I did get was the story about, let's see if I can remember, I'm envisioning the cards that I had pulled in my head. It was this idea of an emperor personality losing touch with his personal power and ending up in this underground state of being in the dark and occluded and overtaken by his descendants, who, being not illuminated at that point, would have to at some point go through and do a lot of work to bring things back to light. Actually got, it was the Ten of Wands and another card that was a 7, I think. It might have been the 7 of Orbs, because I was using the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So it was the 10 of Fire and it was the 7 of Cups, because it has the spiral staircase on it. And so I pulled the 7 of Cups with the spiral on it, and I was like, okay, so they have to consider all these things that are going on in life. And, you know, inspect each one of them and find out what it means and what it doesn't hold as they go back up in Ascension. And then I got the 10 of Wands card, and I'm like, this is the same card, because the 10 of Wands in the Syrian Starseed has a staircase that's all dark, and the guy is might not be a guy, but the person is carrying on their back 9 of the torches, and then it's walking up the stairs with a lit torch. So it's this burden of coming out of the darkness, and I thought it was, you know, ridiculous. I'm like, there's a 7 and a 10, and it's the same card, and they're different suits. Ooh. Okay, I guess we're taking that one. Only one. Which one? Okay, he wants both of them. I'm gonna take both of them. There's only supposed to be one there. And again, we're not looking at the bottom of the deck today. Oh, I'm supposed to leave that there. Where's my... I had to move these over a little bit. The one card that keeps sticking in my mind, though, and I've got to get this because it's important. Where the hell? Oh, that's the wrong deck. Oops. It's the other unknown, wild unknown deck. Yeah. And I got that card too. It's another staircase. Here it is. Sad pony. That card stuck out, and every time I think about that reading, this one pops out again. So we have this, you're beating a dead horse energy, or the dead horse head in The Godfather. that was from the Thoth reading that I did yesterday. There's a lot of moon energy, a lot of power being usurped as things descend into darkness. And I guess it's more intuition and knowledge. And I wasn't going to do the bottom of the deck, but I went to get to the cards for this row here. What's on the bottom of the Marchetti deck? It's the Ten of Wands. Like I was saying... Oh, okay, there's one. As I had been saying, it had come up in the other reading. I like the Ten of Wands for the Marchetti Legacy deck because they're bound into a triangle. It's fueled like fire. Alright, so we're not going to look at that one anymore. And now we're going to get a Mystical Shaman Oracle thing. I consider animal spirit decks to be oracle decks as well. I group them in the same category. I guess there's other decks that are like pseudo tarot decks, but I don't have any of those yet. I don't know if those would be oracles or if they'd just be kind of like these without any, that don't have any major arcana in them. Why am I shuffling these so much? Apparently I need to shuffle them again. Ooh! Ooh, I forgot. I was totally going to open this reading with noise. Let me get a card. Give me the card before Thoth. Okay, here we go. Okay, I can tell right now it's upside down. Now, I did bring the book out for these. I did not use the book when I pulled these yesterday. And it took me like 4 or 5 tries to get the sentence right for what I was seeing on the card. Now, I don't think I want to read the book. I think I want to skim the page just to see if there's anything that I'm missing. Because I don't feel like I'm totally fluent in this deck yet. So what I did is, instead of how I usually slap the halves of the cards together, except for that one because I was told to, I use these to clear the decks. Now, they don't make that much sound if you use them how you're supposed to, but if you give them a good shake, they make quite a bit of noise, both individually and together. So, since I don't have a singing bowl, when I have these, I was like, this is almost the kind of chimes that I would want. I don't know, I never really liked wind chimes, but I feel like maybe a triangle or some wind chimes just to bang on them would be useful. So, and I forgot to use these beforehand, so let me just get some sound going in here. I also brought out my crystal head nip bottle over here because it's the only crystal skull that I've got, and the crystal pony and the crystal mushroom, which is actually just glass. That reminds me of a grandfather clock. I think that's enough of that nonsense. There we go. I'm just trying that just to see how it feels. Alright, so I'm going to do this ancestral part after. I think I did it before when I was doing my free readings for my practice a couple months ago. It's almost 2 months ago. Month and a half ago. So I'm gonna read these after. These are ancestral cards. So what I'm gonna do is I want to see what Thoth wants to say here. So he's gonna tell us about his 5D self. This is his higher self. Now, if he's disincarnate right now, he's going to be existing in here. If he exists somewhere and he's in like a cryo chamber or encoded into a crystal skull or something, or some other like freeze-dried but still alive kind of technology that we're not really sure of, then it would still be the higher self. So just don't. I'm just thinking. I think he thinks that freeze-dried is funny. Like, you know those like 12-foot tall dudes they found in like the Caucasus or something like that. I think that's where it was. Either that or it was in like the mountains in Afghanistan or something. But there's allegedly found bodies that were very large and dressed very stately that seemed to be very old but recently deceased. That's what I was thinking about when I said freeze-dried. Alright, so what? A large crow? Flying west into the mountains. I'm getting a lot I've been getting a lot of imagery or synchronicities that have to do with west and going west lately. Thoth is giving me in a little video clip there of a large crow. It's definitely not a raven. A large crow flying west over the mountains at twilight. I guess might be the Himalayas or Atlas Mountains or something. Yeah, the Atlas Mountains. Okay. Alright, so what? Let me just restart the next video because I'm going to forget what time I have left. Okay, so now let's get into these cards here. Alright, what's going on here, Thoth? What do you want to say? Queen of Fire. Balance inverted. It says Archangel Zadkiel. And this is the Ace of Water. Oh, okay, this is interesting. In the balance card, which is usually temperance, the angel is combining fire and water. So what we have here is the Queen of Fire, and then we have the Ace of Water. So in the middle, and even here in the colors, we have this sort of reddish color, sort of dark maroonish brick red color, and this turquoisey teal color, and then this one is purple. So I don't know whether that was designed that way or just whatever color was left. The fire and water, and then balance between them would be the purple. 4 and 1 is 5, so it tends to be with change. I'm getting upheaval. Now, I've been ignoring what he's been trying to say for a minute, so I'm gonna stop being rude here. No, but I want to point out that this being here on the Ace of Water card is a mermaid. And he's got this sort of 70s shag haircut going on. And the water is angry. He's shouting at me in my head. Tell him what I said. Well, you didn't tell me what you said. You're showing me images. Don't be a douche. Okay. So, upheaval. We have volcanic activity here. The earth becomes the queen of fire when she becomes angry. In the belly of the earth, inside the volcano, is where the energy is coming from. So we have increased volcanic activity, flooding, the treasures are at the bottom of the sea. So their civilization was drowned, and there was upheaval. Now here the sun is being clouded by all this ash and smoke. The plumes of water coming up to drown the city. I mean, obviously it's Atlantis, but you know. Or, well, maybe not to everybody it's obvious, but to me it's obvious. So we have death, change, and a new beginning. So I want to see what Thoth says his life mission is. I mean, we're gonna see, but... Ooh! Look at this. The world is overcome by water, and then we have the Aquarian Tarot deck. So let's see what he wants to say. 8 of Cups. No. Okay. 8 of Cups. The Lovers in reverse. The King of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I'm just trying to see if he wants me to leave the cards in the same order. I kind of feel like... Oh, okay. So, when I read tarot, the page can be an 11 or a 1. The knight can be a 12 or a 1. The queen can be a 13 or a 1, and she's definitely a 13 here. And the king can be a 14 or a 1. So what I'm getting is, just before I get any more messages, I have the 6 here inverted, but I have an 8 here. 8 and 6 is 14. 14 in opposition, just in terms of the energy of the spread. And then this knight over here would be a 1. But even though his code for this reading is 1 because it's in line with this, he is embodying the Hanged Man because he's in the inverted position. So we had to leave everything behind, and we lost a lot of our loved ones. This happened in the age of Taurus. And the king was instructed to rebuild in a new territory. Or not to rebuild, to salvage. Is that salvage? Hang on. Put these two together. Let me come back to the king, because I'm not quite getting that. This is a little bit easier to explain. The earth itself seemed turned upside down. Everything in the land was uprooted. And we had to act quickly, even though we didn't know what we were doing, in order to balance the force of the water and the fire upon the earth. We had to quickly become master of all the skills that we needed to survive. Okay, so that was, and that's in the life purpose row, and it directly follows what's happening up here in this higher self realm. Now, okay, so what I'm hearing is to don't rely so heavily on the rigid form of the template for the spread. This is the form. This is the placement that he wanted to use to express the story, I guess, or the information. To rebuild wealth under the auspices of Taurus. Move to 6, 7. So it might be because of the Taurus here and this big spot on his chest. There might be a Pleiadian issue going on here. I don't want to say that for sure because I don't want to add stuff that's not really there. Okay, so there's a video on YouTube. It's called Thoth's Timetable. It doesn't have any sound. It's like an hour long. It has to do with the pyramids. And how there's a grid on it that has to do with planetary alignments. So he's indicating that, of course, the Pleiades are involved. There would be no point in making a star map without them. Okay, so let's see. Oh, and he said they're directly related to the water people that are in here. Alright, so let's get... What's this last row? This would be the legacy of the... of who the reading is for. So what is your legacy, Thoth, that you want people to know about? Or the rest of your story, because... Don't be so fussy. Yeah, whatever. High Priestess inverted. Six of Coins inverted. Six of Cups inverted. Now, this goes back, I think, more to the reading yesterday. This being the High Priestess inverted, just this darkness, descent into darkness, a lack of intuition. The knowledge has been limited. The scrolls are taken away from you. This fruit of life, geometry, is taken away from you. And again, there's this sort of Taurian horns here, just all in the dark. Now, the Six of Coins and the Six of Cups, I see masculine balance, feminine balance, of this sort of giving, nostalgic or reminiscing love, and this sort of balanced in your heart to do with how you give to other people. And it sort of matches the 12 energy here, or the potential 12 energy. So we have masculine heart imbalance, feminine heart imbalance. And again, Taurus. Pretty sure that's Taurus. And occlusion with the moon. So many symbols on it. I don't see any astrological signs on here. And these together, 2 and the 12, is imbalance. Imbalance. Then we have an owl too, so wisdom is cut off. Your balanced masculine energy is cut off. Your balanced feminine energy is cut off. So this isn't well, it is kind of a legacy, but it's the aftermath. It's the trauma aftermath of having to rebuild from a catastrophe. Alright, so let's see what he's got over here in what's supposed to be the ancestor space. So this would, if you're doing this for a person, it should be parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Or if you wanted to stretch it, it would be most recent ancestors, middle distant ancestors, and then ancient ancestors. So let's go on to this more distant row here, or column, and see what Thoth wants to say. Ace of Wands inverted. Ace of Swords inverted. And then the Queen of Swords upright. So, and again here we could see a lack of intuition. They didn't see it coming. It was divine timing that their society would be cut off at the knees. Thought. Oh, okay. So thought without communication. So it would be lies, spell casting, sorcery, unmitigated opulence. Let's see what's in here. So more upright than that. Okay, so this is inverted. 9 of Pentacles inverted. and a Jack of Swords. So this could be the Page or the Queen, but because we have 11 here, this is, and also because I'm being told it's the Page, it's the Page. So we spent too much time building something beautiful Yeah, those are the words. Okay, so they spent too much of their time involved in perpetuating the opulence. And what happened is that it started to turn itself around and become more of a nightmare than a wish. And you can see with the 9 here that it's half of the moon. Now, with this Jack, with the Jack here being a page, judgment handed down, and it's a little bit too late to start trying to look for the truth. You are being handed it to you. So, interesting. 10 of Cups. Emotional abundance. Took for granted. Okay, so taken for granted how rich their lives actually were. Especially being confronted with a lack. And then we have together the 16 for a tower moment, which would be this liquid hot magma. Hold on a sec. So I'm not too... I just want to see if there's anything else. Okay, turn over the shaman card. Dude, antsy about it. Alright, so we'll turn over the shaman card. The serpent inverted. So here we have another 10, which is again that 20 for judgment. And it's coming, it's radiating out from both sides, but the serpent is inverted. So there's something here that requires repair. The trauma affects the DNA and reverberates outwards, destroying things that are necessary and causing these wings here, the pineal gland. It causes the eyelid to close. So as not to be able to see it, to be able to forget. Okay, so the impression that I'm getting is that if you... Yeah, let me explain it to them. If you have experienced trauma in your life, your brain starts to wire itself differently. If it happens to you while you're growing up, your brain never gets wired normally to begin with. And if you experience some kind of cataclysm, the wiring in your brain will become different. the neural pathways will go around and make new pathways to sort of block you off from the trauma. It's compartmentalization. It's oh, what the hell is that called? It's an alternate identity if you're being tortured. It's like you know, it's like if you took Ambien for the rest of your life and you had no idea what the hell was going on. But it's also, I'm also getting this it's like before people were traumatized by a global cataclysm, they had more psychic intuition and could see things past and future by opening up their third eye at the location where they were at. And in order to not keep reliving this, the pineal gland calcified, and if it had an eyelid like an eye does, then the eyelid would close, because it does have rods and cones in it and is supposed to look like an eyeball. So we have the eyelid closed, atrophy, shrinkage, calcification. So it's like shutting down the Wi-Fi at the specific location, but in this case it would be like shutting down the whole 4G network. I want to see what it says here in the serpent. It's 46. So you have a sense of, and this was upside down, so it's like saying your new foundation is not balanced. Even though there's some kind of completion cycle being referenced. Probably because usually the serpent would be eating its own tail, but here it's running in two different directions at once. It can't scatter away from this vision fast enough. Let me just read here and see if there's anything else interesting. It says, I want you to read it. Yeah, see, the fruit of the tree of knowledge taken away. And then in the serpent is the life force of Mother Earth. So again, interrupting this flow after being attacked by the very mother you thought you could trust. I'm just skimming this, hold on. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else really in the book that I need to address in terms of what's happening here. So now you could say that I'm just making this up based on what I read and what I think. But I didn't know what these cards were going to say. I really thought that they would be more in line with the way that I had this spread laid out. I'm also not really used to channeling out loud. This is it a 6 or a 9? Oh, it's the letter E. What does that mean in math, the letter E? It's e to the pi I or something like that. There's a math video. Something about the letter E. It's a small, it's a lowercase. It has to do with math. It's not entropy. This is probably boring. I'm just looking at this still. There's extra stuff in here. There's... yeah. I just want to see if Thoth has anything else to say. Pull 3 clarifier cards. Only this deck. Okay. Okay, more sound. Oh, I have 11 minutes left. Okay, what am I doing? More sound. More sound, he says. Okay. That was better. Alright. So 3 clarifiers. The 3 clarifiers is not part of the regular part of the spread. So if you were going to order this for a loved one that you knew, like, in real life, it would be their higher self, their life mission, and the legacy they want to leave behind. And then this would be their ancestors, and this would be advice. It's supposed to be upside down. And then I wouldn't pull any more cards after that. So just keep that in mind if you're going to order this. I probably shouldn't use this as an example for this spread. I might have to do another video, but this is the one that I was supposed to use for this, so there it is. Well, maybe I'll just attach this one to the link and then... oh, okay, I was supposed to take that card. This is turned the wrong way. I'm also kind of curious as to why I'm giving him the quote from that older Star Trek movie. What does God need? I think it's number 5. What does God need with a starship? No, leave it that way. This one? You don't like that one. He does not like that one. Oh, and so my question really then is why would Thoth need me to do tarot cards? I'm just a figment of your imagination, he says. It's interesting. If the world's holographic anyway, what the hell does it matter? Witness? Oh, that one? No. He's like, eh. That one? Okay, yeah, that one. You want it this way or the other way? The other way? This way? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, in the middle. Think of your friggin' mind, buddy. Alright, what do we got here? Life experience. So there's the tower. I called it. Or did I call it? Yeah, I know I called it. The tower. Although here it says life experience. Archangel Camuel. significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It says time to spread your wings. So at this point, it's like saying it's time to reopen that. Oh, it's E for eye. That's really dumb. The eye within the skull. Spread your wings. 7 of Cups inverted. The need to do research. Stop compressed. Yeah, wow. I try to say complex and procrastinating at the same time. A complex decision. The need to do research. Stop procrastinating. He wants people to look stuff up. 9 of Water. Are you kidding me? 9 and 7, 16. Unreal. Where did I... Oh, I have 10 over here. So here is this sort of... No, okay. So doing the research will lead to a new flowering of understanding in your life. When you expand... Oh, it's E for expand as well. When you expand your mind and open your eye back up, the more you study, the more your perception increases. Your perception of the world around you will be more informed. You will be able to discern which things are being offered to you by society that are of no service to you. I guess that's his way of saying bullshit. Yeah, instead of taking all this crap here, you'll have a lot more of value if you listen to yourself and think for yourself and do the research to expand your thinking. And that would actually give you both truth and passion. It's very clever. Anything else? Restore balance. Yeah, because if you restore balance, your dude over here has a halo, which is the crown chakra opening. And the halo up here itself is that chakra that floats above your head that's supposed to lead you to the higher world. So I guess it has to do with ascension as well. And here, everything that was like pyroclastic cloud is now the flowering of newfound wisdom. I guess that's it. Or I should probably ask Thoth if that's it. He says, yes, that's it, but you should draw a picture of me. And then he's turning his ibis head into like a human face. Like Egyptian face. And slapping his knee because he thinks it's really funny. My face. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. No, that's it. You freak people out enough for one day. Which is also apparently hysterically funny. I tell him he should learn memes so he can connect with the kids down here. And he's looking at a wall of hieroglyphs saying, who do you think invented them? Oh, that's a pretty good one. Alright, I guess that's it. Yeah, I know that was weird, but that's what we got today. Bye, everybody. Bye.